Welcome back to NV Woodworks. Today I want to do one of these laser inlay pen kits. I'm going to test it out. I've never done one before, so I just wanted to kind of do a video demonstration so you can see how it works. I'm not sure if I wanted to give them a try. I'm not sure if they're really the greatest thing ever. They're pretty expensive, and there's a lot of little tiny parts in here. So we're going to give it a shot, see how they work. Okay, so the first step, what I'm going to use is a Sierra style pen kit. That's what this thing's what it fits on. You can use Sierra. There's a bunch of different ones. I buy my kits from Timberbits, www.timberbits.com. They have really good prices, and so far I like their products a lot. So theirs are called Sierras. It depends on where you buy them. They can be called Wall Street. It's the same thing. Gatsby is Penn State. I think there's a Sienna or something like that. So anyway, there's tons of the same thing, and that's what this one fits. So they tell you that they want you to put the brass tube in. You're not gluing it in right now. It's just so that you can hold these little pieces in. Then you need to insert all these pieces. There's a lot of them into your kit. See, this is fun. This is going to be exciting here. And they give you these little rubber bands that you're supposed to hold all this stuff in with at the end. So we'll see how this all works. Alright, well, I'm actually getting everything to kind of stay with 3 rubber bands, but I don't know if you're seeing this, but not too bad. So now you just flood the whole thing. Well, first, this tube is a lot shorter than this blank. They want you to take the brass tube out when you do this gluing. Let me read the directions here. Slide the brass tube from your pen kit into the curly maple background barrel. Did that? Insert the pieces. Hold the pieces in place using rubber bands. Once all the pieces are in place, carefully remove the brass tube and flood all the pieces with thin CA glue. And they say they use thin instead of medium so that it will absorb better. Makes sense. I don't know if this is a bad thing, but I got super thin CA glue. I don't know what the difference is, but whatever. I think I'm just gonna try and get kind of one at a time here. I'm gluing myself to the blank. I don't know if these rubber bands are gluable or not. Probably gluing close. Actually, I'll just leave the rubber bands on. Well, it's definitely flooded. It's dripping through. Because next you're going to want to put the brass tube in, so I'm going to scuff that guy up first. Supposedly this gives the glue a little bit of mechanical bite. I don't know if it matters, but it hasn't failed me yet. So they say that you might have to sand out some of the stuff in there because I way overdid it. I'm just going to test this. Not wanting to go in that way either. So I'm going to have to sand this, but it's not really dry yet anyway, so that's no big deal. they recommend using a 2-part epoxy to glue the tube in, which actually I kind of agree with. I started doing it with CA glue, but I have had the glue fail, so I haven't seen a failure yet with epoxy. So now what I got is a round file. I'm just going to kind of lightly file this thing. I'm using 220 grit on a dowel that I made somewhere, just to kind of clean up the outside walls of this thing. Hopefully. Got a little bit of chunky stuff in there. There we go. There it is. Okay. Get that out of there, and then we're just gonna grab some 2-part epoxy, and we will mount this sucker and be ready for turning. Camera battery's about to die, so one problem with GoPros. Batteries don't last too long. I have to get that gigantic one. Alright, that ought to be good. Let's give this a whirl. What I like to do with this epoxy on the tubes is get it kind of smeared on all around the place, all over it, and just kind of try and even it out a little bit. Not a huge deal, but I think you'll get enough glue all over it to make sure you get a good bond. A little bit more time with the 2-part epoxy than CA glue also. And I like to try and twist it around, get it all over the place. Alright, so we got all the little parts glued into the blank here, and we got the tube glued into the blank also. The next step is we got to trim the ends up, get the wood even with the brass tube inside on each end. For all the pens that I do, I actually use this setup. Some people... Well, I'm going to leave the rubber bands on because I couldn't get them off, so I don't want to ruin the little inlays. So I just added another one, and it should be flat enough to work with. But first thing, put on your safety glasses. I'm going to clean up the belt here with whatever the heck this stuff is, and then we'll get started, trim them up, and then we'll start turning. Okay, so again, you want the tip on this end. I use a little slimline bushings to kind of center the turning, just so I can get at it. Should have some more somewhere. Maybe not. Okay, good enough. And then a little nut.